We like to think the world is always changing. Technology advances, markets shift, new products appear. But when it comes to money, the stories often stay the same. The tools might look different, but the people using them are wired just like their parents and grandparents. Someone in the 1920s might have chased a hot stock tip they heard from a friend at a party. 100 years later, someone else scrolls through social media and jumps on a cryptocurrency because a stranger online promised it would go to the moon. The technology is different. The underlying human behavior, the fear of missing out, the desire for a quick win, is identical. This essay is about that timeless connection. It's not about predicting the next market crash or finding a secret investment formula. Those things are often distractions. Instead, we are going to explore a more powerful and reliable subject, you. We will look at how your own mind, your emotions, and your habits shape your financial life far more than any spreadsheet or expert advice ever could. The lessons from a Dutch tulip bulb bubble in the 1600s are surprisingly relevant to someone trying to decide if they should buy a house in today's frantic market. The human element is the constant variable in the equation of wealth. Understanding this is like having a superpower. Once you see that financial success is less about what you know and more about how you behave, you can stop chasing complex strategies. You can focus on what truly matters. The goal here is simple. We will unpack the persistent stories we tell ourselves about money, the myths that hold people back in every generation. We will see why they feel so true, even when they lead us astray. This isn't about blaming anyone for making mistakes. It's about understanding the universal psychological traps that we all face, from the richest investor to the person just starting to save. From there, we can build a better approach. We will replace the myths with simple, repeatable habits that work in any economic climate. These are not get-rich-quick schemes. They are durable principles grounded in the reality of human psychology. You don't need a finance degree or a special talent for numbers. You just need a willingness to look at how you think about money. By the end, you'll see that managing money well is not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being the most disciplined and the most self-aware. And that is a skill anyone can learn. We spend a lot of time on the mechanics of money. Budgets, interest rates, investment portfolios. Schools teach us algebra, but not much about anxiety. This is a huge mistake. Financial outcomes are driven by psychology more than by math. You can give two people the exact same salary. One might end up wealthy, while the other ends up buried in debt. The difference isn't the numbers on their paychecks. It's the stories in their heads, their patience, their fears, their ability to delay gratification. Their behavior is the deciding factor. Think about it this way. The math of building wealth is incredibly simple. Spend less than you earn, invest the difference, let it compound for a long time. That's it. That's the whole formula. It can fit on a sticky note. Yet, millions of people struggle with it. Why? Because doing it requires navigating a minefield of emotions. It requires saying no to the impulse to buy something you want right now. It requires staying calm when the market is crashing and everyone around you is panicking. It requires being patient for years, even decades, when the results are barely visible. This essay is designed to be your guide through that psychological minefield. We will break down the most common money myths that sabotage people. For example, the belief that you need a huge income to become wealthy, or the idea that investing is a dangerous game best left to experts. These myths survive because they feel right. They tap into our deepest insecurities about not being smart enough, our fears of loss and uncertainty. We will expose them for what they are: flawed narratives that prevent ordinary people from achieving financial freedom and peace of mind. Our aim is to replace those myths with a new set of rules. These rules are not based on complex financial models. They are based on understanding your own human nature. We will provide practical, behavior-based habits that you can start using immediately. Automating your savings so you don't have to rely on willpower. Setting a simple rule for big purchases to avoid emotional decisions. The goal is to give you a framework that makes good financial behavior the default, not a daily struggle. Because winning with money is ultimately a game you play against yourself, not against the market. Let's start with a simple, true story. Imagine two people, Sarah and Tom, who work at the same company. They started their jobs around the same time and earn nearly identical salaries. From a purely mathematical standpoint, their financial futures should look quite similar. But spreadsheets don't account for human nature. Sarah has a simple habit. From her very first paycheck, she arranged for a small portion of her salary to be automatically moved into a savings account. She never sees that money, so she never feels tempted to spend it. Tom, on the other hand, sees his full paycheck hit his main account every 2 weeks. He has good intentions. He plans to save what's left over at the end of the month. But life has a way of happening. A new phone comes out. Friends invite him on an expensive weekend trip. His car needs an unexpected repair. There is always something. The money he intended to save rarely materializes. He tells himself he will start saving more aggressively once he gets his next raise. But when the raise comes, his lifestyle quietly expands to meet his new income. The cycle continues, month after month, year after year. After a decade, the difference between Sarah and Tom is staggering. Sarah has built a substantial nest egg, not because she was a financial genius, but because she made one good decision and then let time do the work. Her behavior was consistent. Tom, despite earning the same amount of money, has very little to show for it. He is trapped in a cycle of living paycheck to paycheck, feeling a constant sense of financial anxiety. He knows the math. He knows he should save. But his behavior gets in the way. He is always waiting for the perfect moment to start, a moment that never seems to arrive. This story plays out in millions of households around the world. It shows us a fundamental truth. Your savings rate is more important than your income or your investment returns. And your savings rate is purely a product of your behavior. It's the gap between your ego and your income. It's about delaying gratification. It's about building a system that protects you from your own worst impulses. Sarah's success wasn't about complex financial modeling. It was about understanding her own psychology and creating a simple habit that made saving the default setting. Behavior beat math, hands down. Now let's look at investing. The math of long-term investing is also quite simple. Buy a diversified portfolio of assets, like a low-cost index fund, and hold on for a very long time. The power of compounding will work its magic. Over decades, even modest contributions can grow into a fortune. The historical data is clear on this. Yet, the average investor's returns are consistently lower than the market's returns. Why does this happen? The answer is behavior. People are not robots. They are emotional beings, scared when markets fall, greedy when markets rise. Consider an investor's journey through a market cycle. They start when things are going well. News is positive. Account balance climbs. They feel smart and confident. Then the market hits a rough patch. Stocks fall. News turns negative. Commentators speak in grave tones. The account that brought joy now brings pain. Every time they look, the number is lower. The rational plan to hold suddenly feels naive. Instincts scream, sell. Loss aversion kicks in. The pain of losing is about twice the pleasure of gaining. That knot in your stomach when the portfolio is down 20% is real. Many investors give in. They sell near the bottom. A paper loss becomes real. Then they sit on the sidelines waiting for safety. But safety returns only after the market has recovered. They buy back in at much higher prices. This cycle of buying high out of greed and selling low out of fear is what destroys wealth. Compounding, the most powerful force in finance, only works if you let it. It only works if you stay invested long enough for it to work. Patience isn't just a virtue. In investing, it is your most valuable asset. A simple strategy executed with discipline will always beat constant tinkering driven by emotion. The investors who can master their fear in a downturn are the ones who reap the rewards. Behavior is the engine of compounding. Without it, the most beautiful mathematical formula is powerless. Our financial decisions are rarely made in a vacuum. They are influenced by a host of hidden psychological forces that we are often unaware of. These mental shortcuts, or biases, helped our ancestors survive, but they can wreak havoc on our finances in the modern world. One of the most powerful is called present bias. This is our brain's tendency to value a small reward today far more than a much larger reward in the future. It's why we choose the pleasure of a fancy dinner tonight over the security of adding that same money to our retirement fund, which is decades away. Present bias explains why so many people struggle to save. The immediate reward of spending is tangible and certain. You get the new shoes, the vacation, the nice car right now. The reward for saving, on the other hand, is abstract and distant. A comfortable retirement in 30 years feels like a problem for a different person. Your brain is not wired to easily make sacrifices for that future self. This is not a personal failing, it is a feature of the human mind. Overcoming it requires creating systems, like Sarah's automatic savings, that bypass the need for constant, draining willpower. You have to trick your present-focused brain into doing what's best for your future self. Another powerful force is social proof. We are social creatures who look to others for cues on how to behave, especially in situations of uncertainty. When it comes to money, this means we often base our decisions on what our friends, neighbors, and colleagues are doing. If everyone around you is buying a bigger house, taking exotic vacations, and driving a luxury car, it creates an immense pressure to keep up. This can lead to a dangerous spiral of lifestyle inflation, where spending rises to match or exceed your income just to maintain social standing. It's a game that is almost impossible to win. This herd mentality also drives investment bubbles and crashes. When we see others making easy money on a hot stock or a new cryptocurrency, our fear of missing out, kicks in. We jump on the bandwagon, often without doing any research, simply because everyone else is doing it. The same force works in reverse during a market panic. When everyone is selling, our instinct is to follow the herd off the cliff. Understanding these biases is the first step toward neutralizing them. It allows you to pause and ask, am I making this decision because it's right for me, or because I'm just following the crowd? One of the most persistent and damaging money myths is the idea that you need a huge salary to become wealthy. We see stories of high-paid executives, athletes, celebrities. This narrative is comforting because it gives us an excuse. If we aren't rich, it's not our fault. We just don't earn enough. But this belief is fundamentally wrong, and it blinds us to the real driver of wealth creation. The truth: wealth has very little to do with how much you earn and everything to do with how much you keep. Your wealth is the money you save and invest, not the money you spend. History is filled with modest income people who died as secret millionaires. Think of the janitor, the secretary. They lived simply, saved consistently, and let time do the work. Their behavior, not income, was their superpower. On the other side, high earners who end up with nothing. Professional athletes going bankrupt, lottery winners ruined, doctors and lawyers trapped by lifestyle inflation, a bigger house, a fancier car, more expensive vacations. They make a lot of money, but their spending keeps pace. High income creates an illusion of wealth. In reality, they're one missed paycheck away from disaster. This myth persists because of social comparison. We see visible spending, nice cars, big houses, and we equate that with wealth. We don't see brokerage accounts or retirement savings. The key is to shift your focus from income to your savings rate. Someone earning $50,000 a year who saves 20% of their income is building wealth faster than someone earning $150,000 who saves only 5%. It's not about the size of your paycheck, it's about the size of the gap between your income and your ego. Another common myth is that investing is a complicated and dangerous game that should only be played by professionals on Wall Street. We are bombarded with financial news filled with jargon and complex charts. It feels intimidating. This fear paralyzes many people, leaving their savings in cash, slowly eroded by inflation. They believe not playing is safer than trying and losing. The reality, investing can be incredibly simple. The goal is not to beat the market or pick the next hot stock. The goal is to capture the market's long-term returns. Buy a single, low-cost index fund that owns a small piece of thousands of companies worldwide. That's it. Diversification. Time. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to analyze a company's balance sheet or predict where interest rates are headed. You just need to believe in the long-term growth of the global economy, own a broad market index fund, and let human innovation, productivity, and ingenuity do the work for you. This is arguably the safest bet in finance. No special skill required, just the patience to buy and hold through ups and downs. The data is clear. Most active managers fail to beat a simple index over time. Trying to outsmart the market often leads to underperformance. The average person can do better with discipline and patience. Investing tests character, not intelligence. Your behavior matters more than brilliance. The unchanging human heart. We began this journey by observing a simple truth. When it comes to money, human stories repeat themselves. The world changes, the technology evolves, and the names of the assets shift. But our fundamental relationship with greed and fear remains constant. The investor in the 1920s chasing a stock tip and the investor today chasing a meme coin are brothers in spirit. Financial markets are not just charts and numbers. They are a grand theater of human psychology. Understanding this is the most important financial skill you can ever acquire. It allows you to see past the noise and focus on the one variable you have a degree of control over: your own behavior. We have seen how this principle plays out in real life. Building wealth is less about the size of your paycheck and more about the size of your savings rate, which is purely a product of behavior. It's the gap between your income and your ego. We've dismantled the myth that investing is only for experts, realizing that a simple plan executed with discipline almost always beats a complex strategy ruined by emotion. The pain of loss aversion, the allure of social proof, the trap of overconfidence. They are permanent features of the human condition, and they will continue to sabotage the unprepared in every generation to come. The myths persist for a reason. They are comfortable narratives. They provide excuses and shift responsibility away from ourselves and onto external factors we cannot control. It is easier to believe you don't earn enough than it is to confront your own spending habits. But embracing the behavioral side of money, while more challenging, is also where your true power lies. It moves you from being a passenger in your financial life to being the driver. The most crucial lesson is that financial success is not a test of intelligence. It's a test of character, humility, patience, discipline. It is the quiet, unglamorous work of showing up month after month, sticking to your plan when it's boring and sticking to it when it's terrifying. The person who earns a modest salary but saves 20% consistently is playing a better game than the high-income earner who saves nothing. The investor who holds a simple index fund through a market crash is wiser than the genius who tries to time the bottom and fails. Your behavior is the ultimate determinant of your long-term outcome. The path forward, from knowing to doing. Understanding these timeless principles is a powerful first step, but knowledge alone does not change outcomes. The final, most important step is to translate this understanding into action. The goal is not to become a different person overnight or to eliminate emotion from your decisions. That is impossible. The goal is to create simple systems and rules that act as guardrails, protecting you from your own worst instincts. These practical habits are the bridge between knowing what to do and actually doing it. Remember the power of automation. This is your first and best line of defense against present bias and the daily drain on your willpower. Set up automatic transfers to your savings and investment accounts. Make your most important financial decision the default. You pay your future self first without a second thought. Next, embrace the cooling off period. This rule is your shield against impulse and FOMO. Enforce a waiting period, 24 hours or 30 days. For significant, non-essential purchases or investments, give your rational brain time to catch up. The journey to financial peace isn't about the next hot tip. It's about small, consistent, deliberate behavioral changes. Choose one simple rule and put it into practice. Pick one thing from this essay and apply it this week. Automate one savings transfer. Define a cooling off period for your next potential purchase. Write down your simple investment plan and commit to ignoring the noise. This small, concrete step beats a library of unread finance books. It's the beginning of a new story. Your story of winning with money, with timeless wisdom.